Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Ladies with Tradies, working the trade, living the life. I'm very excited to have two very special and near and dear guests to me on the podcast today. We've got the incredible Janelle from Bass to Basics, who is a trusted advisor in bookkeeping for Ladies with Tradies. She's been around our little network for quite some time, and same with Tracy, actually. Tracy from Raldine Homes. She's the beautiful director of a building company in Victoria. So really privileged to be able to chat to these two ladies today who are working together in business. Tracy is a client of Janelle's. And so Janelle's Tracy's bookkeeper, plus so much more, which I'm sure Trace will share. And I've been lucky enough to have both of these amazing ladies on education programs. They've been clients, they've come to our events, and they've got a great connection too, which is going to make today super, super awesome. So welcome, ladies. Pumped to have you here.
Thanks, Kate. Pumped to be here.
Yes, ditto, Janelle. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. All right. So we're going to start with you, Janelle, because what is the question that's on everybody's minds, especially tradie wives out there, is do I need a bookkeeper? What do they actually do? What's the function? Tell us a little bit about your business and, you know, how it works, because people really don't know, I don't reckon.
It does become a question that they do ask when they ring, what do you actually do? But I established Bass to Basics bookkeeping after a career in different and varied areas, mainly bookkeeping and accounting in retail, education, building and construction, and a lot in public practice. So meeting a lot of diverse customers across the board in different areas. Functions of a bookkeeper. I love bookkeeping. I exist as a bookkeeper to help my clients do better in business, basically. I know you guys at Ladies with Tradies talk a lot about numbers 101, and whether you call it that or the pillar one of business is to have up-to-date and accurate bookkeeping. Otherwise, how do you know how your business is performing? How do you know what your profits are? How do you know what the cash is in the business? That's the oxygen of your business. A lot of people will run it on what their bank balance is doing, which just doesn't give you the information you need.
Yeah.
So, yeah, my first job is to make sure that those figures are up to date. Second is to give you some education and training in what those numbers mean and how they work, that kind of thing. Yeah. Probably trying to think of other things that, there's the basic functions of what you do to do bookkeeping, but there's so much more to it than that in what information can be provided and how that helps your business.
Beautiful. And I think, you know, having Tracy here, who I guess receives those services, is going to be really cool with it. So tell us, Trace, what made you pick up the phone to engage Janelle? What were your challenges and where's it sort of gone for you?
I think in business, my previous life was corporate and my strength isn't the finances. And then when I had the kids and went on maternity leave and my husband took over the family business, second generation, I've been sitting in the office by myself for 15 years trying to just wing it. And then when I met Janelle in one of your first programs, Kate, back in COVID, I thought, oh, I like this lady and she seems pretty switched on and she seems to be my sort of person. And I think during the program, you know, we ask a lot of dumb questions, which we feel like as directors and business owners running solo. But I've always felt with Janelle, there was no such thing as a dumb question. So once we finished our program and Janelle had started Bass to Basics, I just thought, oh, let's just have a couple of chats, her and I offline, about what things that she could offer me that would help that part of my business. So for me, sitting in the office by myself, I knew I needed a tribe. I needed people, trusted advisors that could help me. And Janelle has been absolute gold with that. not just doing my best quarterly and picking up all the little codes that I'm putting in wrong and all that type of thing, is that there's just been so many little nuggets of gold where I go, she'll go, why are you doing it like that? And I'm, because I've always done it like that. Well, how about you do it like this? And I go, oh my God, how did I not see that? So having Janelle's eyes on my books has just been perfect, like for me. So she's part of my tribe.
Awesome. That's so cool. And so when, so Janelle, tell us a bit about what was the process when you met or started to work with Tracy? Like, what can a person expect? Like she said, oh, let me just have a few offline chats, but what even happened? Like, what happens when someone rings you up and goes, oh, Ladies with Tradies said I need a bookkeeper. What do I do? What happens? What happens?
It varies for each person. It depends on where they're at. I mean, it's a very, they feel very, very vulnerable. They're opening up their books. They're opening up virtually their life to you as to what's going on in their business. It's whether they're struggling in some way. They might just be behind in the books, or, you know, the cash flow's just not there and they don't want to deal with the ATO. They want somebody else to do it on their behalf for them. So a lot of it is just sitting down and having that chat for the first 15 minutes, doing a bit of a needs analysis as to what is it you think you need, which can be totally different to what you actually need. So yeah, it's having that chat and just establishing where they're at. Then it goes on to having a quick look in their file, see what the numbers are telling me to compare to what the person is telling me, if there's a different story happening there or not, and going from there. So in the beginning, it can be quite intense and like I said, people feeling vulnerable. But it's just, I suppose, making that, making them comfortable and feeling like they can trust you, that you do know what you're talking about, that kind of thing, to be able to then work out what areas do we need to concentrate on to working in, you know, prioritize what we need to do, plan it out. And yeah, probably with Tracy, you know, we could have had a number of conversations about the same thing until we got on the same page as to what it is that needs to be done or needs to be fixed, etc.
Love it. Beautiful.
Yes.
I think, Janelle, there's something in there that you said that's really pertinent for the listeners, is that vulnerability and the fear that comes with bringing somebody in. And I got to say, not that this is Tracy, but she'll probably have a giggle when I come through with this. One of the things we find as coaches, when the wives of the tradie, or they're a director in the business and they're doing the books, is I believe that's one of the biggest things that holds them back from getting any type of administrative support, whether it's bookkeeping or other. It's like, I'm going to expose myself here to the things that maybe I don't know, or am I really totally off track here? And there's this fear in people that, and I felt this myself in business for a long time when I brought my sister Josie into the company to look at the financials. I'm like, she's going to see that I am running a fucking shit show. And I am super scared of how that is going to go. So to have somebody that kind of makes you feel safe, and Tracy, you said, you know, there's never been a dumb question with Janelle. Like, what was your experience of that vulnerability and kind of, you know, opening it up and going, oh, here it is? Like, did you find it hard, or tell us a bit about how it went for you?
Are you talking? Sorry, I missed that. Was that?
Yeah, you, Trace. Yeah,
huge fear, because finance has always been, where I just don't feel whether it's safe. We've done work with ladies with tradies about money mindset, and I think when you work on your own money mindset and that fear of lack and sitting below the line and always worrying about not having enough money, when you peel it back and then bring it into the business, there's a massive vulnerability and fear that you're going to look like stupid. And just exactly what you said, am I running a shit show? Like, is Janelle going to look at my books and go, what the hell have you been doing for the last 10 years? Which is where I love this opportunity for young builders' wives
Yeah.
Not that I'm old, but I'm older than a lot of
No,
them.
you're not, Trace.
I'm not old. But I've always said to people, I wish that I'd met you, but there'd been a Ladies with Tradies 10, 15 years ago when I started in business, because, you know, having a Janelle or someone like that to look at my books and give me that confidence that I was actually doing it right, and giving me those opportunities to know that I wasn't stupid, or I did get it. I've got a really good accountant now, and he's fantastic. So being able to work with him, but then having Janelle, it's still an accountant. You still sort of go in there on tenterhooks thinking, regardless of how good your accountant is, that maybe you've done something wrong. Well, with Janelle, I never felt like that. If she picked up a mistake, I wanted her to pick up my mistakes. I wanted to learn from her. And whether that was because leading up to working with Bass to Basics that we'd already established a bit of a relationship through Ladies with Tradies, like I just had trust from the beginning that she was going to be able to help me and fill that gap that it's not my strength. I'm not good at that sort of stuff. And I doubt myself over and over and over again. So just having Janelle going, no, that's actually okay. You're doing it the right way, but also adding so much value to the business by efficiencies of things that I was just doing not that great.
Oh, beautiful. Gosh, so beautifully articulated, Janelle. This is like a testimonial podcast form.
It is, isn't it? It's wonderful. But even on that, I mean, I had to open myself up, or my business last year, to be able to go away to suddenly employing staff and getting somebody else to look at what I'm doing or what I'm doing in clients' files. And it was daunting. It was really hard to do. And I know Tracy's going through that at the moment in trying to put somebody on within the office. So it's having those little steps or those bits to follow that you can, you know, I can totally empathize with the thought of how do I let somebody in? What do I do? What do I give them to do?
Yeah, love that. Yeah, and it's a vulnerability that no matter what business you're running, that you will experience to grow. And it is a very daunting thing, but I love what you're saying, Tracy. And I think another really big question that people have out there is what to look for in a bookkeeper, because there's bookkeepers and there's bookkeepers. And certainly for us at Ladies with Tradies, you know, we've got some demands, I suppose, or recommendations and requests of people's bookkeepers in order to facilitate our clients to have their books set up in a way that works in a really great combo with how we look at people's financials. And Janelle's always been somebody that has been really open and engaged with our processes. Not that she's ever complained, but I'm sure she's griped about, oh God, those bloody girls want this now. But it's a great it's so great to have somebody. And if you're thinking about what is it that you need in a bookkeeper, it's that safety that Tracy's talking about, to be like, hey, I trust you. I want to hear from you when I'm doing something wrong. That's massive. That on its own is absolute testament to the relationship that somebody like Janelle can build with you as the bookkeeper. If there is nothing worse than feeling like you can't go to a service provider or a service provider coming to you and saying WTF and making you feel like crap. So that's a big thing for you all out there when you're looking to engage a bookkeeper. And obviously Janelle, Bass to Basics, is the person we always recommend. She's our trusted advisor. Make sure that they're not making you feel inferior, like you aren't enough or what you're doing isn't enough. So that's what we love about Janelle's vibe. She's just, you know, everything's nice and smooth and cruisy and, you know, like a fancy car. You just feel relaxed and kicked back with her. So that's what you want to be looking for, is somebody that provides that safety. So what's the responsibility of the client, Janelle? Because this is a thing I hear from bookkeepers, because we can't just throw our hands up in the air and go, oh, the bookkeeper will just have to do it. We've got a role as a business owner too. Like what do you need to be responsible for as a business owner who's engaging a bookkeeper?
Look, at the end of the day, you are still the business owner. it still lays at your feet. You're signing off. It's still your business. You can't walk away and go, oh, that's their role. They're doing that. You still have to have some knowledge, some input towards what's going on. Like anything, communication is just such a big role. They need to provide the information depending on how often we're doing the work for them. Whether it's weekly, monthly, quarterly, the information needs to be there.
Yeah.
It is when you start to, gripe, but it gets hard. You've got your time frames and deadlines to work to, and if you don't have that information that you need there and available, it does get quite difficult. But technology, COVID was probably a good thing for me because it taught me I could do this remotely. I don't have to be in an office. I don't have to physically have the piece of paper. So, technology and how it all works just helps us so much. Doing Zoom calls, it just allows you to be anywhere at any time. So, like I said, it's a communication. If they're, depending on what's going on in their business, let me know of the changes. If you're buying a major piece of asset or something, I need the documentation that goes with it. Amazing how you suddenly find, deposits on cars or something like that's happening, and you go, well, where's all the other bits of paper? I've suddenly got loan repayments I know nothing about. So it really is just keeping the communication open.
Yeah. And, there it is, it's, people think, oh, it's receipts and that's about it, but there's so much more to it, especially in order for your bookkeeping to be like A1, which is what we're aiming for. I think we'll get really
Oh no.
Yeah, I was going to say that
expectation that varies.
Yeah, she's back.
I'm back. I froze.
Yeah, you froze.
Sorry, guys. So the level of expectation from the bookkeeper, and like it does vary. And I think that when you're looking to put a bookkeeper on in your business, the more that they want from you, the better they are. And so if you're thinking, oh my, sounds like too hard to work, that's the person you want to work with, because the reason they make it's hard at the start, which was what Janelle positioned earlier, is there's a bit of work in the beginning to get it going, depending where you're at with your business and how it's structured. They just want the best for you. Like they want the best outcome. They want you to be compliant. They want you to be making sure that you're getting the best tax breaks that you can get. Like the level of care and consideration that goes into something that, oh my God, I'd rather stab myself in the eyeball with a fork than do. They are like obsessed with it. Like a bookkeeper's obsessed with it. They're like, oh, let's do this, let's do that. And before we started, Trace and I were having a chat about it. And you mentioned, Tracy, it's the little 1%ers that make all of the difference in making the tasks easier, the systems smoother, and therefore the benefits from a bookkeeping, tax, accounting perspective overall. So, Trace, tell us a bit about your role in working with Janelle. Like, how do you work with her?
We pretty much work we've actually sort of developed a relationship now, where Janelle is doing my BASs each quarter. And that's probably one of those things where I did a little trading course. I knew how to do my BAS. So I was in that, oh, do I get a bookkeeper to do it? Because I can actually do it. But there are other things I can do better. So I think there's that whole still delegating things and wondering I always felt it was my responsibility. I'm in the office. I should be doing the BAS. I should be doing everything. So we've now got a relationship where Janelle does my BASs and the monthly PAYG. Is that what it's called, Janelle? What do you call that one? Yep. The monthly one as well. But then we also just have these ad hoc catch-ups. Like we'll have one, I'm hoping, in the next couple of weeks because it's the end of financial year. Janelle's done health checks of my books. Back when I was doing my own BAS, she'd just look through and then she'd find out little things like insurances that didn't have GST because I just clicked OK on Xero instead of actually having a good look at the invoice. And, you know, my strength isn't my attention to detail, and Janelle's is. So
Yeah.
we've got similar personalities. We get along really well, but she's really good at the stuff that I'm not very good at. And then the last time we had a little ad hoc Zoom was, I've got a cash flow forecast that I do in Excel, and the way I was sort of getting the information to enter, Janelle goes, you can just get that off Xero, just print out the report. And I went, oh my God, I've been doing it like this for 5 years and wasting all my time. And one comment from Janelle is, why are you doing it like that? And I went, oh, like, hello, how did I not know that? And all of a sudden, a job that was a big job and time consuming has become really simple, that I've been able to give to like an admin assistant to just go do that every week. Like it's those things for me, as much as it's that confidence in I'm doing okay with the books, I'm entering the information correctly, it's all looking good. It's those little things. And that's one example recently of like a multitude of stuff over the last 2 years with Janelle and our conversations, that Janelle's just helped me with things like that. And probably again, the technology. If we were just emailing each other, if I was just emailing her my financials, there's no relationship. It's just you know, we're being able to Zoom meetings and we get on and, you know, I'm a bit of a chatter, obviously. So we have this quick, how's life? What's going on? We chat, but then we see each other. So I feel like I've never met Janelle in person, but I feel like I know her. I feel like she's my friend as well as my bookkeeper. So that's the part of it that just gives you so much confidence. Did I answer that, or did I ramble?
Perfect, beautiful. I think you're going to meet in the Gold Coast, are you? Is that right?
We are.
Yeah, I'm excited.
How exciting. So at the Money Junket, which is very apt, isn't it, that we're talking about money here, and you're going to meet for the first time at the Ladies with Tradies Money Junket. That's one of my favourite things, is connecting people all over Australia. So that's a pretty cool thing. So Trace, you've got a bit of a done with you model with Janelle. So you work very closely together. But Janelle, from what I understand, you've got a bit more of a done for you model as well. So where you do hand over a fair bit more, or the client. So we would be handing a bit more over to you, obviously with the authority and responsibility still sitting at our feet, as you said. And I know you work with other clients of ours where you do the lot. So can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, like anything, it depends on what the client needs and how much support they want. Yeah, Tracy's more a DIY person doing their own books, but just wants that support and help along the way. So yeah, like she said, we just have this, she can email me, she can phone me, she knows I'm available, I'm going to respond to whatever she needs. Other clients, you know, we work with on a weekly basis. So it, once again, depends on what they need. It might be just the basic data allocation in the bank and doing their BAS for them, either whether it's quarterly or monthly. Other ones, you're doing job costing, cash flow, the whole gambit comes into it. Yeah, as a registered BAS agent, you know, we can do everything so it's just ready for your accountant to do the tax at the end of the year. So it's really, it does vary from client to client as to what they want done and to the level that they want things done.
Yeah.
Some of your clients, you know, we're working with twice a week because that's just, you know, their terms and conditions that they have, that we need to be updating things twice a week. So it really comes down to, I don't know whether you call it tailoring or making it bespoke to what the person needs. And like I said, sometimes they know in the beginning, and other times it's building that and building the work you're doing for them as they go, as they get confidence in you as to what you can help them with.
Yeah. And, you know, I think too, Trace said earlier when we chatted, you don't know what you don't know often. And I think that's the cool thing with a service like yours, Janelle, is that you're just meeting the client where they're at. And we say that about how we work as a coaching business too. It's like, meet the client where they're at. Sure, we've got a process and a system, our conveyor belt that everybody moves through, and that we need, like, we've got to always be checking in. But that should never get in the way of what the client actually needs in a moment. And I think, again, it's a great thing that we love about your business and how you work with people, because it's the same as the way we work with people, which is a pretty cool thing. So tell us as well, Trace, if you were to say something, so you said earlier, I'm glad, like, I hope the younger tradie wives, it's great that they've got a business like Janelle's or like Ladies with Tradies to seek out. What advice would you give to people who are sort of sitting on the fence or unsure?
Make that call, like have a chat, whether it's a Zoom. I prefer the face-to-face. I like to see someone. Find out what Janelle can do for you. It's really interesting. Just listening to Janelle talk then, we've been looking at, different job management packages, whether it's Build Exact, Crew Tracker, Hazard Code, and talking to a couple other builders' wives going, we just want a one-stop shop. Listening to Janelle explain the services that she offers, it feels like she is that one-stop shop for your financials. She can do for you what she's been doing for me, or if you're the business that needs that, she will. You can do the twice a week, or there's the flexibility to start with twice a week and then move to something that's more DIY as you need type thing. So to me, from and it's again probably for people just starting out in business, like finance isn't my strength, and I've tried to do it, and I think I've obviously got us to the point where we're at, but stick with your strengths. If there's something that you're not strong in, get someone like Janelle who you can trust, does a great job, has that attention to detail, which I don't have, to complement you rather than trying to do something that you're not really good at. Even though you can do it, like I said, I've been doing it and obviously got us through, but the idea of maybe 10 years ago finding Janelle, you wonder what else we could have done better or differently. No point looking back, but for anybody starting out, Janelle would, that's not what you're good at, Janelle's bloody awesome.
Love that. And, my favorite line is, just because you can doesn't mean you should. And I think that's the trap that we get into as tradie wives often is, well, I've got to do something in this business, so it might as well be me. And like Tracy said, it isn't the strength of everybody. And even if it is a strength of yours, you can upgrade what you're doing or what your role is to a more strategic level, which Janelle is brilliant at too. Can I just also add, the strategic element that you get from a business like Janelle's is a lot more than traditional bookkeeping. I'm blown away always by the offering that Janelle gives, or the service to our clients, where they'll come back and go, oh, Janelle suggested this, and we're like, yeah, that's a great idea. Because we're obviously working with clients at a strategic level, and just knowing that there's another person behind the scenes supporting with the day-to-day ops, plus thinking strategically, plus thinking for the client, knowing that we've got Janelle on side as well, it's like absolute magic. So it is it's the trust, it's the vulnerability, it's the letting go. Really, we've got to get better at letting go, especially tradie wives. We have to get better at letting go so that we can go and flex the muscles in areas that we are brilliant at, and let go of the things that we're a bit less brilliant or less excited by. So that's what a service like Janelle's can offer to people. It's a level of freedom that you won't even realize was possible. The relief, I think, Trace, is probably the word.
Yeah.
Like,
Definitely.
I'm just so relieved. Like, thank God. Thank God I got Janelle. So it's a pretty cool thing. And Janelle, what about you? What would your sort of parting words to people be if they're sitting on the fence and haven't, they're like, oh, I'm going to click the button, but I'm not sure. Like, what would your thought be?
Look, I'm happy to chat. I'm happy to help anyone in any way that they need. If we gel, we gel. If we don't, they've lost 15 minutes of their life maybe in having the chat. It is so hard. Like you said, you've got so many ladies with tradies that fall into the position because that's what hubby does. Is it what they want to do or not? Isn't it doesn't always work out that way. You know, I'm thinking one client that went from working full-time plus doing hubby's thing, and, you know, we worked together for a long time, and now she's been empowered enough that she's full-time in her business and loving it, you know, and helping her husband and that kind of thing. So like you said, Kate, it doesn't matter where you're at. It's a 15-minute chat and see where we go from there.
Perfect. Absolutely. What do you got to lose? Just pick up the phone. You can reach Janelle through our website under Trusted Advisors. She'll know that you've come from our little tribe, and she looks after everybody brilliantly. But, you know, I'll just say, especially ours, you know.
Number one.
Yeah, so please reach out. We'd love to. I'll put that link in the notes as well, for people to contact Janelle. And yeah, just want to say a big thanks to you both of you ladies. You're huge, beautiful contributors and personalities in our community, and the community or the power of the group, which Trace loves saying. You know, it's the power of the group that's what makes Ladies with Tradies such a powerful thing and a powerful community. And you two are just, oh, I love yous. I can't wait to squeeze you at the Gold Coast, and I'm just so grateful to have been able to have this chat today and share with others who really, come on, girls, just let go. That's all I want to say. Just you've got more to achieve, and if you love it, that's great. Work alongside Janelle, but if you're not loving it, hand it over, but just hold on to the accountability of the role of the bookkeeping, and you'll fly. So thanks, team. Great to chat. And yeah, for the listeners, click on the link and give Janelle a call.
Thanks, Kate. I really do appreciate the opportunity of chatting today, and Tracy for all your feedback. Thank you both.
And thank you for asking me to be part of it. Yeah, like I said, Janelle is gold, and anything I can do to help promote her business because of how much she's helped me. Just like 15 minutes, like Janelle said, that's 15 minutes of your life that you won't regret.
Beautiful. Thanks, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.